honeypots are nothing new. They are in industry, I guess, for last more than a decade. I guess they hit the security market in around 1999. So instead of telling you what it's about, the definition and everything, so this talk is not about defining what honeypots are, about the definition or anything. It's not about explaining what their requirements are, or how they work, what they do. It's even not about classification of honeypots, that depending on the interaction level, how they are classified, or research basis, or some production servers, or how they are implemented something. It's not about that. This presentation is not also about their installation or configuration or anything. It's not about their advantages or disadvantages, whatever is associated with honeypots. It's not about risk associated with them, and not about legal issues. So what it is about? It's about making sense of data which we capture using the honeypots. So somebody might put question that, what's the big deal with the data? So I'll come to this gradually as I proceed with the slides. The answer for this question would be quite obvious. Running honeypots, yeah, I run few sensors in our office, and with his privileges and access to different government organizations, we have a couple of sensors running in India. So these are few of the things which we get from our sensors, like new binaries. I'm saying new binaries because if you scan, obviously we get old binaries as well, which antivirus easily detects. We get new as well from our sensors, which are not detectable. They could be new or they could be like the old ones, but some cryptos are being changed or their signatures has been changed, something like that. We get web shells, like new variants of C99, R57, those things, PHP shells, ASP shells and all. Then using our whatever data we collect, using the information from that, we are being able to see the activities of botnets. The attacks in trend, like in case of web application, every next day some new surface comes up for some new attack vectors, something. So using the sensors which we are running, we managed to follow the attack trend. That even some vulnerability is old, like WordPress vulnerability, whether it was in 2010, whether botnets are still looking for such vulnerable machines or not. So these kind of attacks could also be captured. Then we also have SMTP honeypots. So some information on the IP addresses of the spammers, from where they are spamming, their domains. Then from the binaries and all, can capture CNC information and like that. So before proceeding further, I would like to introduce HoneySense. It's a project. Our team and HoneyNet team together, we are working on this project. It's not a rocket science what we have done, but it's just we have cut down the efforts or the time which new users would have to invest if they want to work on this thing. So it's basically a ready to deploy Unix-based distribution. We have customized Ubuntu, the light version of Ubuntu, and we have included a couple of honeypots, which are active open source honeypots. This distribution means when somebody wants to install, configure a honeypot, so with the open source things, it's not that easy that you just download it and install it. You have to configure too many things. Like you have to install database, Apache, PHP MyAdmin, PHP, some other dependencies, some SQLite, MongoDB, something. So in this particular distribution, whatever different honeypots we have included, we have installed all the whatever dependencies it needs or all kind of stuff. So if somebody wants to use it, what he has to do is just install the Linux distribution, go to a particular directory and run one single bash script. It's on the user whether he wants to run all of them or either of them. Just run the particular bash script and it will start running. So currently our distribution has these three HoneyNets. In future, we are planning to add more. Dymia is currently quite active and quite good honeypot which captures network-based attacks. Means it emulates network-based services like FTP, HTTP, MySQL, MSSQL, even some SIP capabilities, and they are highly modular. You can just tweak these honeypots, add new services, something like that. It's a low interaction honeypot. Then we have included another one that's Blast-Off. It's also a low interaction honeypot, and it has thousands of vulnerabilities. Common vulnerabilities like SQL injection, XXS. So these are basically for such kind of low interaction honeypots are basically for botnets who have some intelligence in them. They do some Google search, they follow some particular paths, whatever, and they try to find these targets. These low interactions are not for like a determined hacker. Otherwise, if a person is sitting and looking at these honeypots, they easily come to know that it's a honeypot. The third one is Kippo. It's a medium interaction honeypot which logs SSH-based attacks, and anyone can download it from the following link. We'll share the user credentials later. The only password is mentioned. And for the slide, there is a user credential. Okay. So let's say somebody has downloaded it, installed it, which is very easy, and start running the honeypots whichever they want. So what next? Ready, set, and go. Sensors are up and running. So as a user, researcher, whoever is running this thing, so his expectation would be that some data shall start coming. Something shall start hitting our sensors, be it network-based services or HTTP service, something shall start. So congratulations. Very soon you will be collecting gigs of data, maybe within a week. And here is the answer for that question, that what's the big deal with the data? This is the big deal. Depending on how you have configured your servers, honeypots, this would be the scenario. If I show you what we receive on our sensors, like this is between 1.5 months, and this is a SMTP based honeypot. This is 4 crore, 40 million spams in just 1.5 months, and that's a lot of data. Data to handle, data to make sense out of that. Logs. Another stats is like every week how many we receive generally, like 7 million, 8 million, 9 million. We have even seen more than 2 million in a single day. It's less than 24 hours and 2 million spams hitting our sensor. Just one sensor. So something has to be done if you want to make sense out of that data. So on the square one, back to square one, sensors are up and running, collecting gigs of data. What next? No other solution, but you have to parse data. Whatever is coming, you have to parse data. You have to, okay, another problem with open source honeypots are, they make very good honeypots. The functionality is very good, but they won't give scripts which would generally parse according to your requirements. There wouldn't be any GUI which you can just install and use and see the logs. They'll just give you the core engine. So you, at your end, you have to do something to parse the data. I'll show you an example how data comes using the Blast-Off. This is just one sensor. Look at the speed of this one, and if, let's say I have more than one sensor, maybe 10 sensors around country in different cities, what would be the amount of data need to parse? So it could be a problem. It couldn't be, depending on how you want to parse, what do you want to get out of the data which is coming. So instead of going blindly and just trying to get out of this data, need to come up with a plan. What do you want from your honeypot? If it is a spam-based thing, what do you want to extract? If it is Dymia, what do you want to extract? If HTTP-based, what do you want to extract? So need to come up with goals. Need to set some goals. Like goals could be, you're after binaries. If you somehow manage to get some 0 days binaries which doesn't have signatures in antivirus or something. So this could be a particular goal. Or you want to get new web backdoor shells, PHP shells, ASP shells, or like we discussed earlier, if you want to know what web attacks are in trend, what botnets are still after vulnerability could be 2 years old, but are they still looking for those kind of vulnerabilities? Or in case of SMTP honeypot, you might want to collect list of spamming IP addresses, the source IP addresses who are spamming, try to trace spamming campaigns. Like in many cases, like botnet, Zeus botnet or black hole exploit kit. So they distribute their malicious things via spam. So they distribute all these things via spamming campaigns. You might be looking for tracing those campaigns. URLs involved in phishing attacks. And something like that. Okay, so I'll pick up one case study here. The first one. If somebody wants to collect binaries for analysis. For this, like we are using Dynia. We have a couple of sensors running, and among the sensors we have kind of a network is created. So on your sensor, whatever you are receiving, you can even share the data with the rest of the network. The rest of the network data you can share, and you can even receive that kind of data. So for our Dynia thing, like we have two different kind of streams. One stream for a particular binary or whatever streamline is, whatever you can abstract out of that thing, they're like the attributes of this. Like the timestamp of the attack, when that particular attack has hit your sensor, on which sensor the attack happened, what was the source IP, source port, what is the destination IP, destination port, the hashes of that particular binary. And from second stream, all these things we are parsing. There are no already made modules or something or Python script. We are parsing with our own customized scripts for these things. So in the second one, we have payload itself. So from the first stream, we have the attributes. From the second stream, we have the original payload, the binary. And whatever information the second stream has, the first one have that instead of the payload. So that's kind of subset of this particular stream. So now how we proceed further with this thing? Okay, this is the parsing. Like once we started parsing, we can see particular URL from where the attack is happening, the destination address, source address, destination port, source port, hashes and all. And second stream, we are pushing the binaries into database. So at the moment we have two different databases. One has all the attributes, second one has the payload. So again the same question, what next? What could be done with these two different databases which have different kind of information stored in them? Merge the two different databases. Like what we are doing, we merge them on the fly. Here some ID was the central entity in one database. In the second, again, ID was some central entity. Once we merge them, the payload becomes the central entity and it has various attributes. Now again the same question, what next? How can we, what shall we do with this binary? We have reached so far, what next? Somebody could just simply send this binary to multi-scanner, multi-antivirus scanner. At the same time can send to some sandbox. In return from the antivirus thing, we get the signatures whether it's a new binary kind of or it's detectable or not. From the cuckoo, the behavior analysis. From the sandbox, we get the behavior analysis of the binary. That it had some activity, some TCP packets, some UDP packets, some DNS records, where that binary is trying to get further stuff from, IP addresses involved. Like here you can see it's the particular binary was trying to download some exe from this particular domain. So like I mentioned in my first slide, what do I get from these things? If it would have been 0 results here, but some suspicious thing in the sandbox result, means antiviruses do not have signature for that particular thing, and researchers shall proceed further with the analysis of that particular binary. Static analysis, dynamic analysis and all. So this way you can get some interesting binaries. If I take another example, this is something we have developed for the Glassstop thing. Glassstop is the web-based honeypot which captures web attacks. This is pretty old exploit, I guess 2 years old in WordPress, thin thumb. If I search for this thing, what I get? This is RFI attack. And this is all after parsing, what we are parsing and how we are pushing into database and now displaying on the front end. So multiple RFI kind of attacks. I tried this one, opened in the browser, something was available to download, same shell, executed and it's a shell. So every day we receive, if we run our scanner means or when we want to retrieve the RFI stuff, we receive lot many such scripts. Okay, here is another example. We have recently received this thing. This phishing email was received on our SMTP honeypot. It had some RAR file attachment. Some password protected and quite interesting stuff. I'm pretty new to RTLO. I don't know in details what is RTLO. I just know the functionality. So what it does is this thing. When you see the file, it comes as rcx.xls, but when you execute it, the extension just changes and it becomes an executable file. So this thing we received on our SMTP server. When the details of this attack, the IP is included or the CNC or those things, when we searched for those particular things in our Dynia database, more information was received. So this is kind of correlating different honeypots. Some more information is available on other databases. Okay, some more stats. This one I have already shown. This is if somebody is interested in obtaining the IP addresses of spammers. Like this particular IP was found involved in sending these many mails. Some top suspected bots with their size, like this particular botnet was found controlling these many different, means having these many IPs, bots in it. Some links which we receive, what type of them. They further need some other parsing methodology or something to check whether they are malicious or not. Some phishing attacks. So overall here my intention is to so depending on actually the potential of these honeypots are tremendous. It all depends on what information you want out of them, how you want to retrieve the information, what your different goals are. Like using the information which I explained in previous slides, you can create IDS tools if you know the signatures, if you know the attacking IPs, the domains, the ranges, you can create IDS tools, you can create firewall rules, antivirus signatures. This is pretty good framework. Interested guys must check it online. In case of IP addresses, you can collaborate with ISP to blacklist the IPs. Those who chase botnets, if they know about the complete range of particular IPs, they can proceed with sync pooling and many more. All depends on what your target is. Any questions so far?
The SMTP honeypot you mentioned, right? So, if you get some URLs to that mail, spam mails, right? So how do you extract binaries from that URL? So is there any automation ready with you? Or?
Haven't proceeded with that. That's in pipeline. Need something which will, we just fetch then the list of the URLs, it goes there, find something. So have to work on that. That would be a totally different module. Okay, so with this thing, my part is over. If anybody of you have any further question? Okay, yes, please.
In SMTP only, so let's say I assume there is a spammer who is connecting to that SMTP server.
Okay.
And so forth, you have the list of IP addresses bar graph wherein you say that this IP address is mostly used to that. So two things. One thing is that can be spammer who's using it, or those are corporate IP addresses which are hacked by spammers. So once you say that in the stats that this is the most used and has to be blacklisted or something, it actually can be a zombie or some legit IP address which is just being used to do the spamming, but not actually a spammer's address.
It could be.
So do you do any kind of checks after that on those IP addresses?
No, that's not our part. We do not block
You
anything.
just,
So yeah, I'm just telling the possibility.
Okay.
If someone is looking for these kind of things, then he can collaborate with the ISP, whatever he wants. I'm just letting know what are the capabilities of such kind of honeypots.
Okay.
Any plans to make it open source?
Which one?
SMTP?
Yes. It's going under global HoneyNet project, and soon it would be available. Just finalizing some stuff. Okay, Mr. Dinesh will proceed from this step.
Hi everybody. Good lunch. I don't know, but something. Okay. I will just talk about some stats and whatever current status of the Honey project. What we are doing. A little bit of introduction to what the Honey project runs as a Google this thing GSOC, and a small announcement about what we are doing at CDRC, which is for the community. So currently, like you were asking about, you like to know what's up and what's not up. We are primarily, like we all know, is volunteer driven, and Sumit, the team at in Pune, guys in Delhi, guys in Ranchi, guys in Mumbai, all volunteer sites. Currently, we have totally 9 sensors which are up. So we'll show you some stats collected from these 9 sensors. They all are collected at one central point, and what is called the HP feeds on the HoneyNet project, and from there we put it back into our own database. So currently there's 9 3 in Pune, which includes the SMTP trap which he is talking about. 2 in Ranchi. For those of you who don't know where Ranchi is, please go and check it out. It's a very happening place. It will soon become a happening place. Delhi, there are 2 right now. Mumbai, there are 2 right now. Incidentally, within this 2, I must also tell you that on this 9, there are 2 which go up and down. So sometimes the guys are not there, sometimes the guys are there. We've gone between 9 to 11 from time to time. Our target is 30 by the end of Q2. Our target was 25 by February. We couldn't do that. We came to wherever we are. But we have pretty good progress. We've got 7 colleges which have promised to put up sensors. We've got, when I say LEA, it's law enforcement agencies. So UP police and IP police and Andhra police have promised to put up a sensor each. And there are 5 volunteers again across the country where we would have stuff up. But besides the 23, there will be 7 more who will be identified. So any of you guys who are interested to volunteer to set up a honeypot at home, sensor at home, please feel free to write in and let us
Actually,
know.
nothing much is needed
Yes.
from the hardware side. Just even your XP box,
What is the bandwidth requirement in all?
minimal,
Minimum.
nothing much. For a single sensor, two sensors, it's fine. You just need to port forward proper ports where attacks are supposed to happen. That's it.
So like Sumit had mentioned earlier is that, by virtue of having the HoneySense distro, it makes life easy. And anyone who doesn't have, who gets stuck someplace can always call in and get help. And at least in Delhi and in Mumbai and Pune, of course, there are volunteers who can go and help. There are a couple of guys who are in Chennai and Bangalore also who can help. They've not been activated. We don't have a sensor over there, so they've not been activated. But I do know that they will be willing to help as and when required. So we have currently around 300 members in the IHP, and of them there are many who are interested who have not been activated, as I would say, because of the simple fact that the activities were pretty low key, and it's now that we are sort of coming out and showing what has been done. The first showcase we made was in Dubai just a couple of weeks earlier. That was in the annual HoneyNet conference. So about 40 countries have participated over there, and our stuff was pretty well received, both the distro as well as the spam honeypot which we have. So let's hope some of you guys, of course, join in. If you are not on the list, very easy, just go on the website. There is a link to join. Submit that link. It writes to a Google spreadsheet. I'm the one who goes and picks up the stuff and does it manually. I've been pretty lazy, but I'll not be lazy in the next 1 week. So if you guys join up, I'll immediately put you on the mailing list and you guys can contribute, okay? So this is a stat summary in the last, I would say, 10, 11 months that we've been in operation. Or trying to put the things onto a stable footing, more stable footing. Last 2-3 years which we've been in operation is that sensors have come up and gone down, and at times there has been nothing to report. I keep running around the country trying to get people interested. It's been successful, not successful, stuff like that. But happily in the last 10-12 months we are stable. We have at least 8-9 sensors which are always up, and this is what we've collected. So this is right here. Any of you who want to participate in the analysis, you're welcome. So the only thing is there's only one caveat over here which somebody was asking me yesterday too, is that can I or can't I? I said the only caveat is that you have to become active. So don't just expect that you'll walk in and get some goodies and walk out and have fun on doing some malware analysis. No. Put in some blood, sweat and tears as everybody else has put in, and become part of the group, or become part of the active group, fine, and contribute. So currently we share this information with law enforcement primarily. It's also shared with a couple of researchers also. So that is not something which is off the cards. So in any case, it's like for you guys, like I said, to volunteer, set up a sensor, or engage only in the, I would say, development, or engage in the UI development, or engage in the analysis. So analysis can be malware analysis, can be also just data analysis, either which way. Because like the slide which he had, where this guy is just under the burden of all the data, which you can see, this sort of stuff over here. Right, humongous amount of data, there's humongous amount of disk space used up, and you just go mad. So you got to make some method out of the madness here.
Moreover, if you check the GSOC projects every year under HoneyNet, global HoneyNet, it's not that ideas have vanished or everything has been done in case of honeypots. Every year, they're like last year around 15 or 20 new something related to honeypots they developed, the GSOC students. So anyone who is interested can come up with the idea, implement the idea, help the community.
And of course, in the GSOC project, there is money also. So it's not just free fund, voluntary blood, sweat, and tears. There's some money also there. Connections by country. So it's obvious. We all talk about China, but there's India also. good activity at home. Now whether it is involuntary, voluntary, forced, that's what somebody has to work with us to analyze and actually come out, whether how it's being done. Again, in the IPS, the same thing coming through. Sort of a small heat map. And sometime back I don't think I posted that link on the Null group, but there is an international honey map also. Did I post it on the Null group? No.
I don't think so.
No.
Not seeing that.
So okay, we'll do that. I'll do that today. That will be also interesting for you guys to look at because it shows the India dots are, it'll show you the honey map. So it'll show you what HoneyNet's sensors are installed across the world. And of course, currently we are 8, 9 or 10 over there. So let's say to become much more as we go by. One thing interesting is that India has a maximum number of members. Okay, as we touch 30 sensors in the country, we would have the maximum number of sensors in any one country. The target from our perspective is that we have sensors north, south, east, west. So as far as Assam, Meghalaya, where currently there is talk with the law enforcement agencies over there to set up something. So maybe it will take a bit of a longer time to do that. But at least I know I can reach as far as Orissa and Calcutta to pahunch in about a month's time. So I know people over there, so it wouldn't be a problem. But going beyond that further east, I have never been that side myself in my life, so maybe it will be an opportunity for me also to go that side. But look at HoneySense when I put it up on Nullcon today. A little bit of
further stats. Based on the data which we are capturing for last couple of months, our columns have moved a bit, like this should be here, that should be here, so country-wise details.
So, talk about the distro. Anybody wants to download the distro? It's right here. So these slides will all go up. You will have the distro, the FTP information, and download, install the script in there. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yes. Just take the pain of installing Linux, and I guess most of us are comfortable. It's a Ubuntu, lightweight Ubuntu. Hardly 5 to 10 GB of space is needed. 1 gig of RAM.
The only thing is that if you have a lot of traffic coming your way, you'll run out of hard drive space. So what we do is, the point is what we would say is don't panic. Don't go and buy additional TVs and RAID or whatever. Do what is limit your logs to maybe 5 days. So let it override every 5 days. Because every 5 days you can pull out local stats for your own benefit. Because anyway the stats are being written, like I said, to a central database. And at any one, and so it gets merged with whatever is being received from all the other sensors. So you would not need to really chase whatever you are collecting on your sensor. So GSOC, we'll take a few minutes to just go through GSOC. I'll be clicking through. Do I have the? No. I'll this. That's gone. You have that in GSOC PDF machine? No. Okay, we'll so I'll have to keep GSOC on hold for a few minutes. And like I said, introducing another event happening in Jharkhand. So this is responsible disclosure, and we all know what responsible disclosure means. And I think a lot of us over here have been struggling with the fact that we find stuff and we go and report it to some company, or some government department, and the department of the company does nothing about it. Then you get frustrated, you go and bang your head against the wall, you go and try and kill somebody else. You don't know what to do with the vulnerability which you found, because you can't exploit it, you can't make money out of that. Right? And if you try and even go and somebody puts it somewhere and somebody doesn't like, you are always on the risk of going behind bars. Because in India, if even liking something is a crime here. So what we decided was that the community requires a forum, which is, I would not say above the law, but at least which is driven by the law. So what we did at Jharkhand Police was to set up a responsible disclosure. It's one of the first initiatives for the community which we would come up with. You'll find 2 or 3 more coming up later on. So any of you who find something, you can just submit it to us over there. You want it to be anonymous, you want your name to be disclosed, it's your choice. Exercise the choice over there. Give us your name, give us your email address, give us your phone number, give us everything. And don't worry, if you say anonymous, it only remains with the department, it doesn't go anywhere else. So the reason why this contact information will be required is primarily to connect with you and to understand more about the vulnerability to disclose if required. Otherwise, it is disclosed to the company or the government department. Now you would wonder if those guys have not responded to you, how will they respond to us? So how will they respond to us is very simple. What we would do is disclose it to the person concerned plus the CXO in that organization, plus the intelligence bureaus, plus the law enforcement agency in that city. So there would be a mail going out from the Jharkhand DG of police to the DG police of that state and the IG or the highest officer concerned in that city, wherever that company or that government department is located. That is one. The second thing is that we would follow up if the correction is not done. As part of the disclosure to that company or the organization, what we would also do is offer to help them to close it if the effort is not too high. Okay? Because in any case, when you will give the POC, you will give the fix also. So that if those guys are still dumb enough not to use the fix and to get it done properly, well, somebody from our team will go and help them. If that still doesn't work, the guy will get a second reminder from us. If that still doesn't work, then he has some dirty mail coming from us. The dirty mail is very simple. It is based on the IT Act. The IT Act says that any organization should have a reasonable level of security. And if you, so for us it's a very simple thing. It's like a lawyer twists words. So I have twisted the words to make out that mail saying that, sir, you are not compliant to section so and so of the IT Act. It attracts penalties to the extent of so many lakhs and so many months in jail. We have reason to believe that it can be applicable and request you to take action immediately. The persons who could be liable under this are A, B, and C. So one does expect that should wake that person up. If that doesn't wake that person up, then you have to use some Kumkaran tactics here. So we'll see. I hope we don't reach that place, but I hope because awareness is increasing, so let's hope we don't have to come to a point like that. And of course, there are no boundaries over here. There can be a hall of fame. If the Janata wants a hall of fame, that can be put up. Recognition can come from the department, yes, at the end of the year or middle of the year or whenever, depending again. So you can visit the website and drop your comments over there, suggestions. There's an FAQ, there's a form. There's just 2 things over there. If you guys think something is lacking, something more should be done, let us know, we'll change it. I will change it, it's not somebody else. I am the one who's doing this. So, and we'll take, well, so it'll be announced again on the null mailing list also. I have not done it till now. So that's it, and maybe I'll show you this 5 minutes. 5, 10.
5.
So, no, that GSOC document I'm going to show. GSOC document. So, PDF. I have GSOC is primarily for students. So, the students come out with a project which is mentored by some people on the 100 project, and Google sponsors the student to the extent of about $5,000, from $300 to $5,000, right?
For like,
And it includes a trip or whatever to the US, to any university, wherever to do your studies. It includes also that when the 100 project is, what do you call it, the annual convention happens, you get invited over there too. कितना वॉन्ट करनी है मेरा स्क्रीन We got 5 minutes. I'll jump through the slides. Keep reading fast. कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो let me know. हिंदी में बात करेंगे. Students from all over the world, undergraduate, masters, PhD guys. Stipend of $500 to $1,000, $5,000. Oh, sorry. Should I start again? Opening statement was Hindi में बोलोगे, English में जल्दी पढ़ना नहीं तो हिंदी में बात करना होगा. Yeah, there's a pain. Holding it here is a pain. So okay. So you have a mentor, and the mentor sort of helps you into the project. So this again, this PDF will also go on, and so read it through. You have a project, you have something which you think you'd like to, like Sumit said, it's not about, there's nothing like a small or a inconsequential project. You have something, you have an idea on your mind, your student, welcome to put it through. So even if you have an idea for a great UI or something on parsing all the information which is right there, putting something through, connecting moon with the sun or whatever, no problems. So the org admin is unpaid. That may be me if you do that. Mentors, primary mentors like Sumit would be unpaid. Backup like Muslim would be unpaid. Students would be paid, of course. So, and then of course it's not like easy. It's not a cakewalk. Of course, nobody gives money for free. I think even the bounty hunters know that money doesn't come free. So, and I'm already talked about that. But do you know what we talked about?
Remember?
Yeah, but that's also tough. Like getting to talk and like when he talked, that was also tough. So that's like I said, there's no free lunch. There's nothing easy in life. So this is the student eligibility. Read it later on. Okay, if you are a national of Iran, Syria, Cuba, Sudan, whatever, you can't go there. 2010 367 applied, 151 were accepted. 2011 417, 175. Let's see what. So this is where the application per hour. 2009, 150 organizations, 1,000 students, 900, 54,000 for student projects. So this is what were the projects. Policy plus, Capture PC, Dynia, Glassdoor. Okay, this is 2009. 2010. Now, most of the guys who were on the 2012 list were there in Dubai, fully paid. Besides what they got paid anyway. The 13 was announced, so that is what I'm calling for. This time is not much. So just, so you'll have, this is the third mail you'll find on the list today. A little bit over here, application. These are the guys who are in Dubai. So they had a good time.
Taiwan, China.
So maybe that's why I'm saying that maybe next year you'll stay Sandesi. So okay, so this is it. The idea was to introduce DSOC into the community over here and help you guys, whoever wants to participate. And if you are not a student and you have friends who are students who you think can do stuff, yes. So whenever anybody you write to those guys, you can write to them directly and CC to us. we'll help out for sure. So, I think this is it. Questions or anything, you can take it now, offline, on the mail, on the phone.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.